Hi,
Hey,
how's it going?
good. How's everybody doing out there?
Hey guys, welcome to Dude That's Fucked Up. I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole. Okay, this is what I want to talk to you about right off the top. It's business related because it has to do with the pod. Okay, so for those who don't know, we've been like creating a playlist with songs that are like fucked up or have fucked up messages or like a fucked up backstory to the video or whatever. There's really no like hard like criteria for it to fit. It's just like make your pitch of the song and why it's fucked up, send it to us, we'll add it to the playlist. Well,
I've updated it a little bit.
Yeah, you've been updating it. Okay, well, someone wrote in with that song Fancy, and I never had a chance to listen to it by Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
I finally listened to it this week. I'm obsessed. It's so, first of all,
It's a good song.
it's a great song. And
It tells such a good story.
oh my God. Here's a chance now, Fancy, don't let me down.
Reba, man.
It's so good. Oh my God.
I love her.
Also, her bangs in that video should get their own credit. Like,
Ooh, I haven't watched the video. Shit.
Oh
I've only listened to the song like a bunch of times, but I haven't. Oh, dear.
Oh my God. The video is so good.
Is this like circa like Tremors time?
Oh, maybe what is Tremors? Late 80s, maybe?
I think so. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, by the way.
It's so good. It's
It's
so
a
good.
great movie.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
I love that. I always watched that movie because it was always on TBS. I feel like when I was like sick home from
At
school.
home sick. Oh, yeah. 1990 is when that movie came out.
Okay. I would imagine it's around the same time. I don't know. I can't tell by her hair alone because it's like its own thing in this video because she's like she's supposed to be fancy now. She's made it. She's made it out of the small town outside of New Orleans.
She's a high class
Woman.
lady.
Yeah. And so she comes back and it's like, man, her bangs are like a hat. I don't know. It's like, you gotta watch it.
They're like a fascinator.
And she's wearing a hat also, so it's like she's wearing two hats. It's very weird. And she does not, like, it's bad 90s, like, country fashion. But
Sure, yeah.
But it really, like, was of that era and, like, genre. Anyway,
Perfect.
I've just
I gotta
been
watch the
listening
video.
to that song. Yeah.
Great song.
So good.
Cool. Well, yeah. Any other business? Your video is doing great.
It was great. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone, for watching it and sharing it.
Yeah,
you
lots
can-
of shares. So
Yeah.
nice.
So nice.
The Arraigning Men video, if you
Yeah.
guys don't know what we're talking about.
Arraigning Men.
Nicole wrote, produced, and starred in a comedy sketch that is really funny, and I'm not going to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but it's great, and it's on our Facebook page, and it's posted everywhere on all of our social media stuff. So
yeah, I posted it.
check that out.
I posted it on Thursday, on March 8th. So
International Women's Day. It's perfect.
it's on Funny or Die too. It's pretty cool. I didn't like promote it on Funny or Die or YouTube really, so those ones, if you go watch it there, it doesn't look like it got many views, but it's had over like 7,000 on Facebook, which I was like, oh my God, that's exciting.
That's awesome. It's because it's been shared a bunch. So
yeah.
it multiplies the views.
Yeah, it's making its way out into the world.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. So that was fun.
It was, yes. Anything else? Oh, just real quick, we had a little bit of some technical difficulties this past week with the last episode. We recently migrated all of our files off of one platform and onto another platform.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of interruption and some learning curve trying to get that figured out for us. There's just like a couple things that prevented the the audio files from uploading completely, but we
Yeah.
now know what we're doing with the new platform, so we shouldn't have any more issues. And if you do still encounter anything weird, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
Shoot us a note to our email, dtfupodcast.com, or at gmail.com, or just, reach out on social media or something.
Yeah.
Which a bunch of you did, and that was super helpful, and so sorry for any frustration. So thank you.
TBH, it was personal. It was human error on my part.
No.
I think I uploaded it before it was done, like, processing from GarageBand, so it, like, cut off then. Anyway, we figured it out pretty quickly, and, yeah.
Thanks again for bearing with us and being patient. So, sorry about that.
Y'all are excellent.
You guys are the best. Yeah, anything fucked up? I'll go first, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
This is exciting. It's not I don't have anything bad or, like, weird, except DJ and I found out that we're having a boy, so that's cool. That's fun.
An actual dude. An actual little dude.
A little dude, and, like, I knew that it was going to be a boy, I think. Of course, my mom said, she's like, I knew it. Yeah, like, moms are always, like, super intuitive.
Yeah.
Like, when we called and told our parents, and when we called and told DJ's parents, they were, like, super excited, of course. And DJ's mom goes, she's the best. Like, I really won the lottery with my in-laws, first of all. They're the coolest. And she goes, oh, you're going to be the perfect mom of a boy. You're like really good at talking about poop and other gross stuff. So it's going to be great.
But
you're not wrong.
You'd also be the great mother of a girl who also would learn to talk about poop and stuff. So it's all good.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I think boys are probably just like instinctually grosser. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I have a couple of members of my family that, like, as when they were like little boys, they were like very fastidious. So who knows?
Yeah. I feel like people think I'm a tomboy sometimes because I talk about like lots of stuff like that, but I'm not. I like makeup a lot and like, I mean, I like girly things, but I don't like really sports or anything like that.
Yeah. And also I also love sports a lot.
Yeah, you do,
that's like, but like we could easily have a kid who like doesn't give a shit about any of that and is like very like, serious and is like fuck sports and which I will not judge. And there's always going to be like, I'm just excited for like a person like to join like our family, I guess. It's like super cheesy to say, but like I don't know, I'm like, it's very interesting to like think about what this kid's gonna be like, because DJ and I both have very different qualities and like different personalities, so it's gonna, I don't know, it's so cool to think about.
And it's gonna have your face, like it'll have like parts of your face and parts of DJ's face. It's so weird.
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah, but that's very cool. And I feel like you'll see it right away, and then it's cool how babies like kind of they just look like a baby right in the beginning. You can't really tell. And then each week their faces change, and like sometimes the baby looks more like the dad, then sometimes it looks more like the mom, and it like takes all these different like
twists and turns
to look like different families. Like, oh, like that. Like now it has like the father's side's family. I don't know.
Yeah, like the family, like the so and so's nose or whatever. Like when I came out, I was like fucking hairy as shit. Like I had a full head of like black hair,
Yeah, yeah.
And I like always had dark hair. DJ came out. He had like light blonde, like almost blonde hair, like pretty like sandy blonde hair. Yeah. But he has like black hair. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know what my natural hair color is, but like it's like a light brown. But it started out as like dark black hair, and he started out with like blonde hair.
Weird.
So, it's so weird. Yeah.
Well, and like sometimes babies lose all their hair and then grow it back. There's like all these weird things that happen.
I know. So it's exciting. the tech, the like ultrasound tech, like, you know, they have to do all these measurements and stuff for like your midway point, basically.
Yeah.
To make sure everything's developing properly. And he's like holding off on the sex for like the last thing. And he's just like, the baby like kept his like legs closed. So he's like, he's very modest. I'm like, yeah. But finally he like got it, and he's like, oh, see, here's the scrotum and here's the little penis. And it's just like weird thinking about the fact that there is a penis inside of me.
Yeah,
all the time.
You're growing one inside you. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm like 3D printing a penis right now. It's weird.
And balls.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
God.
Cool. 3D printing a human. It's weird.
A human chode.
Yeah. This poor kid. This will be some like lost footage that this poor kid will never listen to, hopefully. I don't know. I'll save it for his 18th birthday.
Oh, that's cute. Aw.
Yeah.
Are you going to name him D Junior? D Junior? D Junior.
D Junior.
D Junior.
DiGiorno. No, we have a name, like a first and middle name in mind, but
nice.
We're gonna think about it a little bit, but it's like family names, so
keep it a secret.
They're meaningful, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've already talked to our family and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, but anyway,
I feel like people sometimes because everyone has like a problem. Like it'll be like, we're thinking about naming our kid Blake or whatever, and then the person's always like, oh God, I knew someone named Blake. He was a total asshole, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh. So
well, basically, like DJ and I, we only care about like we want to make sure like I think our families would be cool with it. Like, of course,
yeah.
They don't care. Like, they're very supportive in anything we do, but like we both like don't really care about what anybody else says, so you know.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, anyway,
You shouldn't.
I don't, but yeah,
Cool.
What's going on in your world? What's anything fucked up?
Mine's kind of like a bummer, but I'm hoping to just like breeze past that quickly. But my grandma passed away last week, and she was very old. She was like 93, and she wasn't doing great. And so I knew it was coming, but it's still very sad and everything.
Yeah.
But there's a viewing tomorrow.
Mm.
And I don't know why we do that. Like, especially in our society where we're like very squeamish about people being dead and stuff. You know, there's like certain societies and cultures that like not celebrate death, but like celebrate in a way where it's like, oh, come see the person, or we're going to do this ritual or whatever. And it like has to do with the body. But we don't really have that in our society. And it's very weird to me that there's a viewing at all, and it's like from 4:30 to 8:30 at, I'm guessing, the funeral home, and that's family only.
Yeah.
Which also the family is like not super close, and like I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And then at 8:30 p.m.
I would just avoid that, like, just in general, just to, like, not see family members that I don't want to see. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
But, like, viewing the body, like, I feel like that's, like, such a personal thing. Like, if you want to participate or not, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to go. And I feel I, like, don't feel bad. I do feel a little bad because I'd like to see, like, my great aunt and stuff. But I'll see her at the service. So I'm kind of like, I don't want no one to be there. I don't want it to be like, oh, no one showed up or whatever. But also, I don't believe, like, in the afterlife. So it's not like I think my grandma, I'm just like, oh, my grandma's gone. Like, it's not like I think she'll know that I wasn't there or was there. You know what I mean? But I was there, like, in her last days. I, like, went and visited her and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I didn't, even that was weird because I'm like, I don't want to remember her like this, which it was fine. But I really don't want to remember her like this.
Well, I think for people that didn't get the opportunity to spend time with her and her, with her in her last days, like, that might be important to them. But, like, since you were able to do that. You were able to like see her and spend time with her. It's like you absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with you
not going,
not going and viewing her body. I feel like that's like if you really need some closure or something and need to say your final goodbyes. Like I feel like that's totally. It's a societal thing that is fine, you know. I get why it's weird. It's like we have such a discomfort with talking about death and dying and it's like morbid or whatever, but like it's a fucking part of life. Like
totally. Yeah. You know? Totally. But it's just weird. Like it'll have been a week. Like exactly. She died last Monday and then tomorrow's Monday. And it's like that to me is like one, too long to keep someone around. Like just, you know, she's not fresh at this point. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And then they always look, I've looked at people before. Yeah. I've been to like open casket funerals or whatever. And I was curious and I was like, oh, and I looked and they never look right. Obviously, but
all the life is out of them.
But they try and like recolor them and stuff, but it doesn't look right and you're just like, oh, I don't know. And then it gives you nightmares and all this stuff and I'm just like, I think I'll avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're totally you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I support you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But this was going to be a clunky segue, but we don't even need one. Who cares? We could just start the episode.
Yeah. We like to try to segue into our topics whenever possible, but like who cares?
Yeah. But I think as a society, we're very squeamish with things that are like there is a morbid curiosity and we want to look, but also like we're very squeamish and we try not to see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a good segue?
Yeah, I think so. So we're talking about. Hey, it's good. It's good enough, you know.
Yeah, like, good enough. You know what? Done is better than perfect. Let's roll.
Done is better than perfect. Yeah. We're talking about the 7-second delay. For live television.
Delay. Yeah.
Yeah, the broadcast delay it was specifically talking about live television. I feel like radio is like kind of a different story these days. Yeah.
But that's where it started. Well, so the 7-second delay, I think most people know this, but like live TV isn't actually live. Like, it's like very close to live, but it's not actually live because there is a delay built in. And the 7-second delay, like quote unquote, it's really up to the network and the people producing the event or the program or airing, whatever it is, like to cook in a delay or bake in a delay. And it's like, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds, but on average it's 7.
Yep. But why, why do we do it? Well, I guess like you mentioned, it started on radio.
Oh yeah. It started
in the 50s.
In the 50s. It started on radio in Philadelphia. This is so dumb, but like, you know, like people call into a radio station and you win tickets or like you ask a question or make a request. Well, it used to be people would call into radio stations, but because, you know, you need permission to air someone's voice.
Right. You need their
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a way to like get permission when people called in and like air their voice. So they would just air phone calls or whatever one-sided. Like
weird.
You would just be like, hey, well, thanks for calling KKRW. This is Jimmy. What kind of request can I play for you tonight? And then it would just be dead air. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, we also love Chantilly lace. Here's the Big Bopper coming up for you right now. Like it would just be like one-sided. I don't know. It's so dumb.
That's so weird. Oh, wow. I'm glad that changed, though.
Yeah. So that was probably boring. But anyway, this station in Philadelphia, they were like, oh, what if we like set up 2 tapes side by side, and when someone called in, we could ask them quickly while we're still going off of the other tape or whatever, if they wouldn't mind being on air. And once they give their approval, we switch over to that, and then we can like hear the whole conversation. Or maybe they just weren't able to like get it. Like maybe they just weren't able to like physically put the voice on the.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So something happened where they're like, oh, we need two tapes. One where it's like the feed, and one where we can like try and get this conversation taped and then like switch over to it once we have like permission and we could hear the person and stuff. So yeah, I think that's how it was.
Yeah.
But that was good because then they figured out, oh, if we could have two like feeds essentially, then we can like toggle back and forth between them if we need to.
Like the input output kind of like situation.
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, and then that allowed for like in case there was like any profanity or whatever on the radio. So we still do this, and as it applies to television, since it's like you can see stuff now, like there's like a lot more things that could go wrong. But we still we still do it. Obviously, like live television isn't quite live. But reasons why we do it is because we have the FCC, which regulates all the things that are happening for like making sure that there's like across the board, like if it's like obviously cable, like they could do whatever the fuck they want, but like network television for the most part, yeah. Well, there's obviously really horrible things that can't happen, but like cursing and all that. So yeah, across the board, basically, the FCC has it in place to prevent nudity, profanity, bloopers, and violent events.
Yeah, and it's the FCC is the Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah,
and like nobody technically has to like have a 7-second delay in place, but then if they didn't and these things happen, they have to pay penalties. You have to pay you get dinged anytime like one of the things that they kind of are watching over happens. You have to pay for it. So people don't want to do that.
You open yourself up to like massive amounts of public
outrage,
like, complaints and outrage and stuff if you don't have all your like your like kind of like a fail safe in order.
Like just think about like if someone said like fuck on the Today Show or something, how big of an issue that would be for like I don't know, like all the moms watching.
Yeah.
Like, oh! And then the Today Show gets like all these letters from like all these upset people that are like, I'm a Christian woman, and you said the F word on live television. And then it's like, oh, it's a headache.
Yeah, it would be. Nobody wants to deal with that. And if it's something super bad, then you can open yourself up to like lawsuits and shit for traumatizing somebody.
We're gonna talk about some of those.
Yeah, some examples of each one of these things.
Yeah.
So, but for television, it's a little bit more complex than radio, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a whole system, and do you want to go for it?
Okay,
Since you did the research on this part.
Okay, but I think I understand how this works, like in theory, but I don't know. But kind of like how I was talking earlier about the two tapes. Like, I think I understand how this works. Okay, so so basically there's two streams like we were talking earlier about like when they figured out how to do this. So there's like two tapes going at once, or we'll just say two like video streams going at once. Everything's very digital now in the control room. So there's a live action feed of what's actually happening, and then there's a feed that's going out to viewers on a delay, and it's typically between 5 and 10 seconds like we said, and then there's someone responsible, usually the producer, for watching the live feed for anything that could be they're the ones making the call. So if something happens, they are the ones that may may like be like, hey, give everyone a heads up, and that's what happens. Sometimes it's someone anonymous, like if it's something where they're like, oh, we don't want to be responsible for like editing or censoring people. Like, remember Frances McDormand at the Oscars? Like, I don't think she was saying bad words, but they like
at the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, at the Golden Globes, she wasn't saying bad words, but they like censored her.
Yeah, it was just like, what the like, she was just like giving an intense speech, and they like, you couldn't, they just silenced basically like half of her speech because they like thought she was like cursing. It was so weird.
That person's probably anonymous because like no one wants to be held responsible for like censoring Frances McDormand's Golden Globe speech.
Yeah.
But it's usually the producer, and if they see or hear something objectionable in the live feed, they call out dump, which is so unfortunate. But it means to get rid.
Get rid.
So, and then there's actually, in like big events being broadcast like the Oscars, there is like an actual censor, which then like pushes the button for that moment. So they're like watching, let's say it's someone says fuck or something. So the producer's watching the live feed, someone says fuck, they say dump. So then the censor gets, okay, we got to dump that, goes to the feed that's going out to people, and will like push a button right when it gets to that moment to like either bleep out, or if it's like something physical that happens, they'll like blur the screen, or so it's like a very human
human process for sure.
Which is definitely subject to error, which we'll talk about for sure. But yeah, so it's called the dump button. And yeah,
this is so fascinating. I did not know any of this. This is so interesting.
That's basically how it works. In live news broadcasts. So you could see where this could be like a huge problem, and there could be tons of fuck ups, like, because it's so manual. It's communication between a couple different parties. It's subjective. Like you might not think something's bad, or maybe you're watching the live feed and maybe someone in the very, very back of the studio shows their butt or something, like moons the camera. You might not see that, like you can't.
Yeah, you could miss stuff. Yeah,
you could totally miss stuff, or you could be like, oh, whatever, that's like far enough away. I don't want to blur the entire like video for a second, or black out the entire video for 2 seconds while that happens. Like, just leave it. And so, or sometimes if it's a live news broadcast, which news is where the most things are kind of happening that are, kind of wild, because it is live.
You can't predict what the fuck people are going to do on especially like local news.
Yeah, especially if it's live, like if you're live from like an event or an incident or something. So what producers have to do sometimes is cut back to the news anchors in the studio, because they're just like oh god, this is going to be bad. Cut back to the anchors, and then they have to quickly just like fill in and stall.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it works. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Totally.
Okay, cool.
So going back to like the list of things that they actually censor for, or are keeping an eye out for,
titties.
Titties, always titties. So like we're really afraid of a titty being shown on live television. So
or
an example,
anywhere.
Give me them titties. I don't care.
I think they're great.
Their boobs are the best.
Yeah.
But we in America we don't know how to deal with a live titty. So so an example of like this happening,
a live unplanned for titty.
An unplanned titty was probably the most famous example, and then we can just like move on, is Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl. Actually, I'm gonna say it was Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2000. I think it was 2004 or 5. I can't remember.
2004. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like the most I think famous example in pop culture, at least in our generation, of a live titty. So, but this is stupid because First of all, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this whole event.
Yep.
I will never forgive Justin Timberlake for this.
Yeah.
And it was probably planned, and Janet Jackson was probably like in on it because she had a pasty over her nipple. And so, like, at the end of the day, I, first of all, don't understand why this is such a big deal. I don't know why people got so fucking pissed off about this.
Yeah.
It kind of made it, I don't know, it was like kind of aggressive. It was kind of weird. It's like, why did they do this? But like, the problem I have with it is that everybody blamed Janet, and she was like banned from the Super Bowl. And then now this past Super Bowl, we have fucking Justin Timberlake as the main performer for the halftime show.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's rude.
I don't get it.
It's rude that he too wasn't banned, especially when it was like his fault, essentially, even though it was totally planned and the whole thing was like dumb.
Yeah, it was so stupid. And like, first of all, you didn't even see her full nipple.
You didn't even see any nipple. I Googled it because we were doing this, I was like, Nipplegate.
Yeah.
That's what it was like referred to. And I found
so stupid.
I know. And I found a bunch of images, and there was one, most of them have like a black bar over it, but there was one that didn't. There's clearly like a giant like metal sun looking thing over her nipple. You can't even see her whole boob. Like, it's like pretty big, covering her nipple.
I think it was just like the whole, I guess, like principle of the matter that just pissed so many people off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
this makes me so mad still.
I know. Well, and there, I guess it is very sensitive because the Super Bowl is broadcast on network television, so anybody can watch it. Like, it's, it's for everyone. You can get it on, like, via antenna because it's on one of the main channels. So, like, I get that, like, people would be upset if their kids saw it or whatever, but also they wouldn't be because you didn't see anything. And if you didn't act like it wasn't a big deal, kids aren't going to know because it wasn't. Yeah. And it's just really dumb. And people, like, got so upset about it. And it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. And are still upset about it. I'm still upset about it for the reason of the fact that Janet has been maligned over it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Justin Timberlake just faced no consequences.
Yeah. I know, it made his career better.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so sick of people being all upset about boobs and nipples. Like, it's everybody has nipples. Literally everybody. Some people have more than two.
Yeah.
But it's like the dudes that get all fucking angry in Target when women are breastfeeding and shit. It's like, get out.
It's like, fuck you. First of all, this is what tits are for. They're not for being sexual in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, I have so much anger about this, but like, titties are for feeding children.
Yeah.
If you are offended by a woman breastfeeding in public, you need to like take a step back and try to understand why that upsets you so much.
We should start calling them TDs because they're like teats, and then maybe it'll
TDs.
maybe it'll like desexualize them.
Yeah.
And then we can all live our lives.
Also, like, everybody just needs to stop and calm down. Like, it's just a titty. God damn it. All right. So that's, we're going to get off the nudity thing because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next like big bucket of, censoring that needs to happen is for profanity. I feel like this is just like, it's just kind of like the main thing. It happens so frequently, and it's like what it is basically for.
Yeah, nudity is not happening on live broadcasts very often. Like, okay, maybe there's a streaker during a baseball game or something, but that's like super rare. It's mostly profanity.
And I kind of want to see that, actually.
Me too. I do too.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
I love watching the security guards be all awkward wrangling them because they don't want to touch their dong or whatever.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, it's usually a dude.
Yeah, it's usually a dude, and his wiener's flapping around. And I just like, they even cut away, like when you're watching like a baseball game or something, they even cut away when there's like a beach ball that goes on the field.
Oh.
because like it's so they don't want to like distract from the game or whatever. Like the umpire will call a timeout, and then like the announcers will just like the camera will focus on the player in the batter box or whatever, and it's just like Vin Scully is like, yes, there's a beach ball on the field, and oh, there they go to grab it, and it's just like, who cares? But I love when things like that happen though, because I just love seeing the like players like reactions, like they're just like snickering behind their like gloves and stuff. It's great. It's so great.
Everyone's having fun.
Everyone's having a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, profanity is like a big one. And there's literally like millions of examples of profanity happening on live television, and a few that we're going to talk about that are like more recent, I guess, and broadcast to a bigger audience.
Yeah,
I suppose.
One of my favorites is from Saturday Night Live when Jenny Slate, it was her very first.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
So good. It was her very first season ever being on SNL, first and only, because she got fired after one season. This maybe had something to do with it, but TBD. And it was her first episode. So it's like first episode of the season. She's on SNL. She's in a sketch with Kristen Wiig. And the whole sketch is like, they say like freaking or friggin' the whole time.
Friggin', yeah.
And I think Jenny Slate wrote it, and she had like probably, spent a lot of time with this material. And so instead of saying fucking, they're saying friggin'. And halfway through the sketch, she says fucking, and they didn't censor it. So she said it live to everyone. Because they didn't catch it.
It happens actually quite a bit on SNL.
For sure. Because
it just happened with Sam Rockwell like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, what did he say?
He said fucking. He said fuck on accident.
Oh.
And you could barely tell, but like his face, like, he's like, oh shit.
That's what always happens, because you look at, like, Jenny Slate had a moment, like, she couldn't. She almost
froze.
Couldn't. Yeah, she froze. And then Kristen Wiig's like, ugh. And then, whatever, it happens to a lot of people, especially on that show. And whatever, they pay the fine and move on. It's not like that big a deal. But
she got fired.
She did at the end of the season. But she's been successful otherwise. She's so funny. She did Marcel the Shell, which is like the cutest thing ever.
Jenny Slate is one of my all-time favorites.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. She has a great voice for, Marcel the Shell. Like, that's her. Yeah, and her ex-husband did that whole thing together. Yeah. And then she's like voiced a lot of like cartoons. Like she's like voiced characters in a character in Zootopia. She did Secret Life of Pets, I think. She's great. Oh, she's she was one of the voices in Big Mouth.
Oh yeah. And she wrote a movie called Obvious Child that's really good, and she starred in it. And she's been in like Parks and Rec, and she's been in lots of stuff. She dates Captain America off and on. I follow that relationship because it's cute.
Oh yeah. She was in Landline. That was like the most recent movie that I saw of hers. That's really good. It's like 90s, like sisters, like it's really cute.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
You should watch it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. It's like indie film, kind of like really sweet. But she's the best, and it's stupid that
it's so stupid.
Yeah, but she's doing great. She's doing great.
But that's, she said a bad word, and then it's not just verbal. There's another Super Bowl incident. Such a big, like, the Super Bowl's such a big event, and it is live every year, and like it's unpredictable. Things happen all the time. That like blackout that one year.
Didn't Britney almost fall?
Oh, I feel like, or Gaga, or I feel like
I can't remember. It's like so many people have almost fallen like while they've been performing, and I'm always like so nervous, like watching the. It's like so.
It is scary because they're trying to do like they're on wires and shit, like trying to do big stunts or whatever, or like. There could be like fires from all the fireworks and shit. But God, I know. In 2012, MIA performed at the halftime, I think with Madonna.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And she flipped the bird. She gave the middle finger, and they didn't catch it because probably I just feel like whoever was like censoring the Super Bowl, like they're at the Super Bowl, they're having fun. The Bud Light's flowing, it's free. And
and like all the camera angles have to be planned before like the broadcast. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, okay, we're going to camera 3, camera 4, whatever.
Yeah, it's like an orchestration.
Yeah, so it just so happened while the camera was on MIA, she like flipped it off.
Yeah.
But like I don't remember that happening, but like a lot of people saw it and were pissed off, and MIA doesn't give a fuck. So
no, nor should anyone who cares.
Like, yeah, I love MIA. Yeah, everybody's drinking beers and it's hard.
Yeah, eating like helmets full of nachos and like you get distracted.
Yeah.
And it's the Super Bowl.
And it's the Super Bowl. And then another, okay, this is like kind of a meta example, sort of, of profanity happening. This is like, of course, like as media has evolved over time, like things just become memed so easily. And so I don't know if anybody remembers, like a couple years, like 2014, there was like this viral hoax. It turned out to be a hoax. This guy would go up to news reporters and say, "Fuck her right in the pussy." Remember that?
I feel like vaguely.
He was like dressed up like an old man. Well, so as it turns out, this was all a hoax. Like the news reporters were like actors, and it was just like they made it was like a comedy sketch. It's not even that funny, first of all. So, but this went viral. Like anytime you see like a weird thing on like local news or something, people like love it and go crazy over it. So this like went viral, and then but what happened because it went viral is that people started to actually do it, going up to news reporters on live television and just like yelling "fuck her right in the pussy," and like it was just so stupid, and it got really like to the point where people were just, it was just like stupid. It was like very memey and like dude bro-y, and like the best example of this, because it kept happening on live TV and they'd have to like cut away really quick, or the newscaster would get all flustered. And there's one example of this happening that just is so good. So it's like a sporting event. It was a Toronto FC soccer game. After the game, this woman is like interviewing people that had been at the game, and this guy comes up behind the dude she's talking to, and he does the "fuck her right in the pussy" thing, and she's like, "I'm sorry, hold on a minute," and she like goes over to this group of guys where the guy came from that did this, and is like, "I'm sorry, did you think that was funny that you just did that?" And just like went the fuck in on this guy so bad. And the whole group of friends that were just like thinking, they're all wasted and thinking it was so funny, and they're just like super bro-y. And she just like destroyed these guys, and they look so stupid. She's like, "Is this even a thing anymore? I can't believe you guys are still doing this. It's like not even funny." And they're like, it's like only a year old. She's like, "Yeah, it's not funny anymore." And it's just great. And
oh my God.
I just watched the video before I got on, and I was like, her name is Shauna Hunt, and she just like destroyed these guys.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
Look that shit up.
Oh my God. I love the next one we're going to talk about is bloopers, which is almost related, because I feel like that's like
kind of a segue
edging.
in.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking about, and this applies, the telecast of the ball drop where Kathy Griffin is being heckled from like off camera, and she just I don't think she knew she was on camera, and so she kind of like engaged with this heckler, and they're just like screaming, and she's like, "Come on, I don't come to your job and knock the dicks out of your mouth."
Yeah.
And it aired, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh."
Oh, I totally remember that. Well, this is like basically what this woman said in not so many words. She's
right.
Like, "Why are you saying this like super offensive thing to me while I'm trying to do my job?"
Yeah, like shut the fuck up. Yeah.
She's like, "Shut the fuck up." It was like basically like a Kathy Griffin moment of like, "I don't come to your work and knock the dicks out of your mouth."
So but good. What a line.
She was so classy, and like I loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
bloopers,
ahead.
and I feel like there's lots of things, like one last example of like Howard Stern fans will call in and like hoax, which is also kind of like maybe more a blooper, less profanity, but
Yeah.
they'll like pretend to be. I remember one of the big examples was the OJ car chase. Someone called in and was like, "Oh, I forget what they said, like I'm a friend of his or I'm so and so or whatever." They just like will call in and pretend to be an expert on
Yeah.
a topic that live news is covering because it's of the moment, and they don't check the sources very well because they want to just like be live on air talking about these things.
Yep.
And so like they'll be led along, and then at some point they'll just be like Howard Stern's penis, and then they hang up.
Yeah, or they say like Baba Booey or something.
Yeah, Baba Booey, and then it's like, oh, this person isn't real.
Yeah, that I've actually like seen it happen like on live TV or heard
fun.
it happen, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And that like kind of like rolls into the examples of bloopers that they censor for. And it's like bloopers are so boring and dumb, and it's like I feel like nowadays it's like especially like on live TV we kind of like live for that shit.
Yeah.
So we can like meme it.
Yeah.
And like make, or like have the video of it go viral. Mm-hmm. So like I think they like bloopers could be like when somebody just like stumbles over their words or somebody falls or something or I like the bloopers where the newscasters accidentally say cunt. like
by accident.
By accident. There's one where I think this woman is like trying to say country, but she said like she stutters and she just says cunt like twice in a row, and like is like fuck, like you could see she's like trying to get it out, and it's just like yeah. But I guess like bloopers could be considered like part of profanity.
Well, there's also dumb ones where it's like the mic cuts out or like something happens from like a technology perspective, and it's like whatevs. Yeah,
there's like some sort of. Well, the one fucked up, I guess, example of this that happened very recently was like to use it for quote unquote bloopers to keep things from becoming embarrassing.
Yeah.
Was E wanted to use a 30-second delay for the Oscars, for like the red carpet interviews, because of all the Ryan Seacrest shit that has come out.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were like knocking around the idea of doing a 30-second delay because there's been some instances of actresses being outspoken and they're like, we're fucking done with this. Like, let's like, I don't know. So I don't know if they ended up doing a full 30-second delay, but I think they just, for the majority, had Julia Rancic doing more of the like live red carpet interviews. But Ryan Seacrest was still there and still interviewing people. Like he interviewed Taraji P. Henson. Did you see that shit where she like was talking to him and she was like talking about like kind of like
time's up.
Like she was like having a conversation that was very much dancing around everything. Like if you interpreted what she was saying in the light of like of Time's Up, the argument could be made that she was like talking about karmic retribution in like his world, maybe. I don't know, but she grabbed him on the chin like in a very condescending way. And I fucking love it. And people on Twitter were like, "Oh, she just cursed him." Like,
yeah, but she didn't, because she cleared that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Because that's hard. Because it's like, oh man, maybe he shouldn't have been on the red carpet. I probably wouldn't have put him on there.
They should just not have had him on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And then the most like, we can roll now into the last example of why it's a good idea to have this 7-second delay is for examples of violence that are unplanned and like, because we already have enough violence, we're kind of obsessed with it in our culture. Like shootings, car chases, and suicide are all things that can happen on live television, and they have happened before and will probably continue to happen. So one of the most famous examples of a live suicide was in 1974 in Florida, a newscaster named Christine Chubbuck.
Yeah.
Basically she was like a newscaster, and she was like doing a segment that she'd done for however long she'd worked there, and she shot herself on live TV.
Yeah.
It's a really sad story. I think they just recently, like within the past 2 years, there was a documentary that came out about her and a movie.
Yeah, like an indie movie.
An indie movie that came out, and it was supposed to be really good, but I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I don't want to. It's such like a heavy thing, and I think
very heavy.
I think she had some maybe mental health issues she was working through, and it's really
She's really
sad.
depressed, and she was like butting heads with like the producers at the TV station. So she was having a hard time, but she did that, and it was seen by quite a few people because it was on live TV, but it was also like a small broadcast audience, I think, because it was like a local Florida channel.
Yep.
But yeah, the creepy thing about this is that there's like footage of it, obviously, but the tape has gone missing.
Yeah. Well,
and
people want it's weird that people really want to see that.
Yeah, it's like such a yeah. I don't know.
Like, why? I don't like, what happened. It's not but people are like there are people on websites that like about death and stuff that are like really wanting to find it and like trying to track it down.
Yeah. I was like reading about her, and I stumbled on lostmediawiki.com, which is like it's like an archive for all the like events that have happened that like the footage has been lost that have happened in media, like on live television and whatnot, or like movies that have been lost, or like the Apollo 11
explosion, the Challenger.
No, the Apollo 11, the moonwalk, like the higher quality like tapes of it, like we talked about that in the moonwalk hoax thing. But yeah, this is one of the main examples of stuff that would be on that website on Lost Media Wiki. Is the footage of or the tape of her that final broadcast of her committing suicide live on air.
Yeah, there's Lost Media Wiki, and then there's also other sites like findadeath.com where you can like find, it's like the new age rotten.com, I think.
Yeah.
It's like you could find like pictures of Princess Diana's car accident. You could find death certificates of people, autopsy reports, like all this weird
like
stuff
crime
related.
scene photos and stuff. Yeah.
Like related to like I'm assuming mostly celebrities and stuff. But so there was like this group of people on there that were really trying to find this footage of Christine's last final broadcast. But eventually it came out, and this was like kind of unrelated, that the head of the TV studio at the time had the tape, and he passed away and left it to his wife, who didn't want to hold on to it anymore because these groups of people were like kind of starting to find out, and they were calling her, and like I don't know if they were like threatening her. Yeah, but they were like definitely harassing her, and so she finally gave it to like a law office to hold on to. So it exists.
I feel like it's like cursed or something.
Yeah, it's like it's so sad. And
people are fucked up, man.
Yeah, there's no need for anyone to see that. But I think it becomes like the mystery of, does it exist or doesn't it?
Right.
And then that's what people want to know.
And I think some things need to be kept for posterity, just for, whether it's like to help determine like a lawsuit or whatever might happen. But I don't know.
That was so long ago.
Yeah. Another example of a suicide on television was Bud Dwyer. He was a politician. He was state senator in Pennsylvania and became the state treasurer. And he got in some trouble. It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but he was being convicted of a crime, and it was like taking a bribe, and
he took a bribe as treasurer for the state. So and that's gonna get you in trouble. And he was convicted. He was like found guilty.
Yeah, and he was probably gonna do a little bit of jail time. and he went on. I wasn't. I mean, I was alive for it, but I don't remember this. But like I've seen like the video of it before, but it's like not the full thing because the way it's edited when you find it now, it's like totally different. But he gave this like really rambling speech about how he was like claiming he was innocent, and then he like gave he like, I don't know, he was like talking about his aides and like gave them envelopes, and then he like pulled out a gun out of a manila envelope and he shot himself on live television.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Ugh, it's not good. Well,
No.
this example's really fucked up because we're talking about like censoring things in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Christine Chubbuck's example was the first one, so people didn't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Bud Dwyer, there was enough time in between to like cut away if they needed to. The problem with this one though, it wasn't live. So this was like a pre-taped press conference.
Oh yeah.
And people were like arguing with him and trying to get him not to do it, and he let some people like, one of the things he said like is, if this is going to affect you, you should leave, because he was holding the gun. And then so some people left to get help or whatever. Some people stayed and tried to like
talk him down.
Yeah, talk him down, but he ended up doing it. And then the fucked up thing is these stations didn't censor it before it went to the broadcast. Some did. Some censored it in the sense that they played the video and audio footage up until the point where he put the gun in his mouth, and then they froze on that.
Jesus Christ.
And kept the audio going. So like you could hear the gunshot and all the people like screaming and scrambling and like, and they played that in the like nighttime broadcast of the news. Or the other option was they played the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up because some people made some really bad decisions on censorship.
Yeah.
In that.
It's really, really sad.
Yeah. And I think one of the things too, like, both of these scenarios were broadcast without a warning. So I don't know if you realize now, when something sensitive is on air, especially during like a live news broadcast, they'll usually say, oh, if you have small children in the room, you may want to ask them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't warn anyone about what was about to happen. They just played it. So it's kind of like, this is like a very specific case of like why now things like, you have to warn people, and you probably shouldn't show someone killing themselves that you taped earlier.
People have a right to like not see that. Like, like if you want to see that and you're fine with it, good for you.
Right.
But like
I don't.
I don't want to see that. And neither should a 5-year-old sitting next to his mom. Like,
yeah, fuck that. That's rude.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the last example I think we have of the suicide on air is, and this is like kind of everything all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Like as far as like violent events happening, this man named Daniel V. Jones in 1998 was in a high-speed chase in California, in Southern California. I remember this happening very vividly.
Same.
High-speed chases on California local news are like constant.
Yeah.
They happen like every other day.
But they're not even high speed anymore because there's so much goddamn traffic. So it's usually just like they're driving like 20 in the carpool lane.
Yeah. Or like they get on surface roads and they like crash immediately and jump out and run or whatever.
Yeah.
The parts that scare me are when like people go through intersections, and that's really scary. But so they like, obviously like they have a delay with car chases, or they'll pull away. They'll like do a really wide shot
from a helicopter.
Yeah. But with this instance, with this man, it began as a high-speed chase, and they were very zoomed in on him because he was like shooting out of his window. Mm-hmm. And he eventually stopped in the middle of the freeway, gets out of his truck, lights it on fire. They realize there's a dog in the cab of the truck, kills the dog basically. He unfurls a banner onto the freeway that says HMOs are in it for the money, and proceeds to grab a shotgun from the back of the truck, and he shot himself live on television. And this like happened like middle of the day, 3 p.m.
Oh, yeah, during like interrupted after school cartoons.
Yeah, yeah. I remember this. I watched the entire thing with my brother because, like, you know, when you're a kid, like 98. I was like, you know, I was a freshman in high school, and my brother's in middle school, and we're just like hanging out together watching TV, and this came on, and it's like when this shit comes on, it's on every channel.
Yeah.
And whatever channel we landed on, they like showed the whole thing, and we were both just sitting there, and I was like, "Are you okay? Oh my fucking God!" It was very traumatizing. As it turns out, this man had been diagnosed with cancer and HIV. He was HIV positive. Found out he was HIV positive like shortly before he like did this whole thing, and it was very, very sad incident.
This is what made me so angry about that. I remember watching it too, and whatever like network I was watching when it was happening, they were zooming in because he like lit the cab of the truck on fire with like a Molotov cocktail or something. The dog's in there. That's already upsetting because you could see it, and they're zooming in. He pulls out the poster, whatever. He has that up. He goes to the back of the truck. They're like, "What's he doing in the back of the truck?" He grabs a shotgun. They're zooming in, and they're like, What's he doing now? What's he doing now? And it's like, what the fuck do you think he's doing now? Finally, the newscaster, who was, I remember this so vividly, who's watching this goes, pull out right now, pull out, like zoom out, essentially.
Yeah.
Because then he puts it in his mouth, or under his chin, and he pulled the trigger. And it was like so I remember screaming to my mom, like, "Oh my God." I think she was in the kitchen, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "This guy just killed himself." Yeah. And it was so disturbing. And then I think I came to your house that day, or like really close, because I remember talking to your mom about this in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like I remember I must have like come to your house that day or something, like.
Yeah. My mom was so pissed. Yeah. I remember telling her what happened. I think she was like at the grocery store, like she wasn't at home. It was just me and my brother at home. Yeah. And I told her what happened. I was like, "Oh man, this happened today on TV." And she was just like, "What the fuck? Like, how did they show this? How did this happen?" I think she was so pissed off that she like called the like local news, or like the news station or something. Yeah. Good. But she was just like, "What are you doing?" I don't know. Dude,
and that was just like, you're interrupting children's cartoons. It's after school. Kids are home, like, watching TV. And also, like, this isn't going to end well. This man has a gun. Like,
it's like common sense. And this is like what we're talking about.
And the dog's burning.
I know. That was like the most upsetting part. Well, if they didn't show, if you didn't see like the full thing. Yeah. Like, despite all the actual denouement of this whole thing was like, they still just showed the dog sitting in the cab of the truck, and it was just like, "Oh, there's a dog in there." It's like, what the fuck? There was no common sense being exercised. And like I was saying, at the beginning, we were talking about how a lot of this is like, this is all human, like discretion. And so somebody at these news stations is making the choice to be like, let's let this play out and see what happens. And not exercising the actual common sense of what it, like not showing a live death on TV. Like it's so.
Well, it's all ratings. So it's like they want it to be good. And that's like the problem with the news these days, which I don't watch the news. And
Me neither.
Even during election coverage or like a big event, I can't, because it's all just nonstop coverage to create outrage or whatever. And it's just like, there's no new information. They're repeating the same segments, the same talking points over and over. They're just filling in time. It's so upsetting to me. Like, if you don't have new information, talk about something else.
Yeah. And so, but at the end of the day, the moral of the story, though, I guess, is that we do need the 7-second delay, because shit really happens. Yeah, when it happens, it happens. And it's just a matter of like, I just don't want to watch any news anymore.
I know. But even live events, like you need.
But I feel like news like feeds on it. They're like, oh, something crazy can happen. Let's let this play out. I don't know.
Like if anyone ever got hurt during like a Super Bowl halftime show, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But you know what? If someone's titty pops out, I don't mind seeing it. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it does not matter.
Or someone says the F word, I don't care.
Or like pants split, dong comes out. That's great.
Kravitz style,
yeah.
I'm for that, actually.
Yeah.
They should try and work that in more often.
I love the human body. It's just let's celebrate it and not censor it.
Yeah. Ay.
Ay.
Well, are we done?
I think so. Sorry, it was like kind of a downer at the end. We probably should have led with that maybe. I don't know.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, I know.
And finish with the nudity part. Oh, well.
It's fine.
Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah. There's so many examples, though. These are just, we like only picked a few for each category, and there's just, and it's only going to get worse probably, so
I was going to say, yeah.
Hang in there. Yeah.
It was good. I was going to say, there's still going to be all these issues with live broadcasts, and you're still going to see fucked up shit because it's all human, like we said in the beginning of this topic. And people obviously are prone to error. So
I think it's funny where we draw the line and remembering and knowing that it's all a human behind it.
Yeah.
Makes it that much more, I don't know, fucked up, I guess. Like somebody's like, oh, they're pulling a shotgun out of the back of their truck. Let's just see where this goes. Like, come on, man.
Let's not.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Follow us on social medias at DTFU Podcast everywhere. We have a website, dtfupodcast.com. Mm-hmm. We have a Patreon page. Check that out. We're giving you extra content. If everyone, or if anyone's interested, we released a Patreon episode that we recorded a few months ago and released to the patrons. You're welcome to listen to that, kind of get a feel for what we do. We do a bonus episode every month, and they're usually like kind of fun.
Somewhat tangentially related. Yeah. Sometimes depending on what it is. Like maybe we mentioned something in a past episode and we're like, oh, we should revisit that. So follow us on all the things, and thank you as always for listening. And you guys are the best.
And
don't get in high-speed chases. Just kidding. Don't go on, don't harass live news broadcasters, TV reporters, whatever.
Yeah.
Be excellent to each other.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.